Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, we're going to be having a look at stoichiometry. So in here we'll look at equations, we'll look at mole calculations and so on and so forth. Sometimes this topic is a bit tricky. I know it's quite easy, but sometimes this topic can be tricky. So hence why I'm going to be doing some past paper questions related to stoichiometry. Okay, so I'll be trying to upload as many topic-based past paper questions as I can because the MCQ exams are coming in some time. So let's see where that will reach, and I'll try to upload as much as I can. So let's begin with stoichiometry. Let's begin with moles. Let me know which topics you guys are having difficulties in down in the description, in the comment section, so that I can do questions on those as well. So let's start off with stoichiometry. Let's start off with moles, and let's start off with the first question. So here it says, okay, let's just highlight this. So it says the equation shows the reaction between, we have a reaction between magnesium, we have a reaction between sulfuric acid. Okay, so we have a reaction, as you can see, they've also given us the equation, okay, where magnesium is reacting with sulfuric acid to form magnesium sulfate and hydrogen gas. They've also given us the RAM, okay, of each of the elements. Which will help us in throughout the question. Okay, so then it says in this reaction which mass of magnesium sulfate is formed. Okay, so which mass of magnesium sulfate is formed. So for any type of question like this, we look at the mole ratio. Okay, we look at the mole ratio. So we need to find the moles for this, we need to find the moles for this, not for this, we need to find the moles for magnesium because they've given us 6 grams later on. And then with that information, we can find the mass of magnesium sulfate. So let's start off by finding the moles of magnesium. Okay, to find the moles, we know that moles is equals to the mass over the RAM. And they've given us the mass of magnesium as 6 grams. Okay, so 6 grams, and the RAM of magnesium is right here, which is 24. So 6 over 24. 6 over 24 is 1 over 4, right? So 1 over 4 or 0.25. Okay, now this 1 over 4 is in the same, because the ratio is 1:1. That means magnesium sulfate has a mole of 1 over 4. So magnesium sulfate, the moles is 1 over 4. Now using this same formula right here, we'll just substitute all the values that we know. Okay, so maybe with another color, right here you can see we have the moles for magnesium sulfate to be 1 over 4. We need to find out the mass, and the RAM, which we can find. So magnesium is 24 plus 32 plus 16 times 4. So if we put that in my calculator, we shall get 120. Okay, so this is equals to 120. Then we cross multiply, so 120 times 1 over 4 is 30. So the answer for the first one is 30. So this one is quite easy. These types of questions are very common in many other past papers if you have done a couple of them. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so it says 2 atoms of magnesium. Okay, magnesium reacts with 1 molecule of oxygen. What is the formula of the product? What is the valency? Magnesium is in group 2. This one is in group 6. Okay, that means the valency for magnesium will be 2 minus, while this one will be 2 plus. Sorry, the other ways. This one will be, it has to lose electrons. So yeah, it is 2 plus, because magnesium has to lose 2 electrons to become an octate state, while this one has to gain 2 electrons to become an octate state. So the valency is 2s2, which is Mg2O2. This simply means that the 2 valencies cancel out each other, so it will become MgO. Okay, so that's the reason why it can't be this. So the answer is MgO. So every time they have the same valency, they cancel out each other, it becomes Mg1O1. So the answer for number 2 is A. We move on to the next question. It says copper 2 oxide reacts with ammonia, and the left hand side of the balanced equation. So here's a keyword. So it's balanced, right? It's a balanced equation, and it says what completes the equation. So I think because they've given us the information of balanced equation, we look at these ones and we see which one is balanced, okay? And then maybe if two of them are balanced, we see which one makes more sense. So let's see here. Okay, what I can simply do is, first of all, we can just name how much of each element it is. So like here we have 3 coppers, we have 3 oxygens, we have 2 nitrogens, and we have 6 hydrogens. So we're looking for something like this in the equations. Okay, so let's start off. Do we have 3 copper? Yes, we have 3 copper. Do we have 2 hydrogen? That's wrong, because we need 6 hydrogen, so that's wrong. Here we have 3 copper, that's correct. We have 2 nitrogen, that's correct. Here we have 6 hydrogen, but we don't oh wait, yeah, we do. We have 3 hydrogen, don't we? We have 3 hydrogen. So this one could be a potential, okay, because everything is balanced. Here we have 3 copper, which is correct. We have 2 nitrogen, 6 hydrogen, 3 oxygen. So this one could also be a possibility. Here we have 3 copper, we have 2 oxygen, so that is wrong. So with these two, let's see what is wrong. So let me rub this. Now I can see the difference right here is that you see right here that nitrogens always in diatomic, hence why the answer is C. Nitrogen cannot be like this. Nitrogen is always diatomic, and hence why the answer for number 3 should be C, okay, or is C. Move on to the next question. This is a quite simple question. We're supposed to calculate the RFM. The RFM is simply just adding all the MRs for this. Okay, so now calcium, what is the I don't know if there's a periodic table attached to this document. No, there's not any periodic table. So let's try find one. Sorry, this was give me a second, guys. So let me find the periodic table, and then I will be back. Okay, so actually let me just quickly find it. I think if we just search periodic table, I'll be able to find one. So any periodic table would work. I haven't. I should have come prepared for this video, but anyway, so you can see we can just use this periodic table. One of these periodic tables is fine. Okay, so you can, if we quickly zoom into this, I am hoping you guys can see this. Yeah, you guys can see this. So here's the periodic table, and you can see that we need to find, if we zoom in, we need to find calcium, carbonate, and oxygen. So let's start off with calcium. What is the mass of calcium? So calcium would be found on group 2, so it is 40. So calcium is 40. Then carbon is 12 and oxygen is 16 times 3, because we have 3 oxygen molecules. So we just use our calculators, add all this up, we shall get 100. So the answer for number 4 is C right here. Okay, we move on to the next question. The next question, it says a molecule Z contains 2 atoms of oxygen, 6 atoms of hydrogen. So we have 2 atoms of oxygen, 6 atoms of hydrogen, and 3 atoms of carbon. What is the formula of Z? Okay, so let's see. First of all, we have been told that okay, this could be related to alkanes or alkenes or something related to that. Maybe could be something related to that, but let's see. Maybe we just have to count the number of carbons here is. Okay, let's see. So we have 3 carbons. Yes, we have. How many hydrogens do we have? We have 6 hydrogens. We have only 1 oxygen, so this is wrong. We need 2 oxygen. Here 1, 2, 3, we have 3 carbons, so that's correct. We have 6 hydrogen, that's correct, but we only have again 1 oxygen, so that's wrong. Here we have 2 carbon plus 1 carbon, so 3 carbon, that's correct. 5 plus 1, which is 6, and then O is 2. Yep, so this is the answer because it matches all this that we need. Here it would be wrong because we have 4 carbon, but we only need 3 carbon. So such a very, very easy and simple question. So let's move on. Okay, so I think this is a question on electrolysis, but let's still have a look at this. It says, what are the electrode products when molten silver iodide is electrolyzed between inert electrodes? So when this is molten silver, so it is silver iodide, right? Remember that the iodide is a halogen, and halogens are always at the anode. So hence why the silver will be at the anode side. Okay, so we can see there's the iodine will be on the anode side. So from the options we can see it's either A or it's either C. Now when we look at the reactivity series, we look at which one can displace the most, and we know that silver, gold and all that is in the bottom of the reactivity series, and the less reactive it is, the more easy it can be displaced, and hence why the answer should be at the cathode, silver will be displaced and not hydrogen. Okay, because hydrogen is more reactive than silver, hence why silver is more can displace more because it's less reactive. Move on to number 7. Number 7, it says iron forms in oxide with the formula Fe2O3. Find the RFM. Okay, so we have to find the RFM of this. Again, quite simple. Use the help of your periodic table and use the help of just adding. So let's see. So for iron, it is 59. I'm not sure which one. Let me just check the. Let's see. So the REM for iron is 56 according to Cambridge, and then for oxygen it is 16. So I will do 56 times 2 plus 16 times 3. That should give me, if I use my calculator, 56 times 2 plus 16 times 3 shall give me 160. So answer for number 7 is D, which is 160. We move on to the next question. Okay, so here it says in athletics, banned drugs such as nanodrolin have been taken illegally to improve performance, and it says nanodrolin has the molecular formula of this. What is the relative molecular mass of this? Okay, so how you're supposed to do this question is first of all, it's asking us to find the relative molecular mass. Okay, the MR, and remember the MR is the simplest form you can write something. Okay, that is the MR. So we have the empirical formula and then we have the MR. So it's telling us they've given us hydrogen as 1, carbon as 12, and so on and so forth. But what we have to first do is we have to write it in the simplest form. So we divide everything by 2. So C9 H is this 13. 26 divided by 2 is what? 26 divided by 2 is 13. And then O. So then we just use then we just add up everything up. We just add everything up, and we should get the answer to that. Or is that not the case? Actually, sorry, you don't divide this. You do not divide this. This is, sorry, molecular formula, not empirical formula. This is in not the simplest form, but you just have to simply do 12 times 18. Okay, this is such an easy question. Okay, I was expecting more to this, but it's actually just it's actually just adding everything up, because they've already given us the molecular formula, which is strange because this makes it so much easier. So let's see, just have to use a calculator now. So 12 times 18 is 216 plus 26 plus 32. So we just use our calculator, and the answer is 274. So such an easy question. I was not expecting that, but you can see sometimes these types of questions are so simple. Like, they've given us the molecular formula, but there are some times where you don't get the molecular formula. You have to find the molecular formula, but here it's quite easy. They've already given us the molecular formula. Move on to the next question. It says the structure of an organic compound X is shown. So we have this complex structure here, and it's telling us what is the molecular formula of X. So let's count out the number of carbons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So C7. Okay, now let's use a red or something to count the number of hydrogen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so hydrogen is 12 right there. Okay, so which one is this? This one is such an easy question again. So the answer is C7H12 is the answer. Okay, we move on to the next question. Here it's telling us what is the relative molecular mass MR of nitrogen dioxide. So we know how to write nitrogen dioxide. It is written like this, whereby nitrogen has RAM of 14 and oxygen has 16. So 16 times 2 is 32. So 14 plus 32. The answer of this is 14 plus 32 is 46. So the answer is D. So number 10. D, we move on to the next question. It says a compound contains 1 atom of calcium, 2 atoms of hydrogen, 2 atoms of oxygen. Wow, these are really easy questions. So 1 calcium, 2 hydrogen, and 2 oxygen. So we're just looking for that. So here is 1 calcium, 2 oxygen, 2 hydrogen. Yeah, so that should be good. Wait, sorry. What is the correct chemical formula of the compound? Okay, so what is the correct one? Okay. So they've made a twist here, so it's not as easy as it is. Okay, so if calcium and then we have oxygen and hydrogen, it should be calcium hydroxide. This is calcium hydroxide because we cannot have it like this. Neither can we have it because calcium has a valency of what? Of 2, and then oxygen is 2, hydrogen is 1. So it should be like this, not like this. Okay, so the answer, I think this one really there's not a lot to explain. It's just that it's just written as calcium hydroxide in this form. Okay, so that's quite simple. Again, move on to the next question. It says the formula of compounds W, X, Y are shown. So we have these W, X, and Y. It says which statement is correct. Okay, so let's see. W, okay, let's count the number of elements each one has. So here we have 1 copper, we have 1 sulfur, we have 9 oxygen. Okay, that'll take long then. Let's just look at the questions and see whether they're correct or wrong. So it says here W contains twice as many hydrogen atoms as the oxygen atoms. Okay, let's see how much hydrogen atoms they have. It has 10 hydrogen atoms and it has 9 oxygen atoms. So that is wrong. I'm pretty sure that is wrong. Okay, so this is wrong. We move on to the next one. X contains the most oxygen atoms. So here we have 7 plus 4 oxygen atoms. We have 11 oxygen atoms here. Here we have 9, here 11, and then here we have 6 plus 6, which is 12. So this is again wrong because this one has the most oxygen atoms. Y has the most. Y contains the most hydrogen atoms. Okay, so hydrogen, we have 12 hydrogen atoms here. While as this one we have 14, so again this one is wrong. Y contains the same number of hydrogen and oxygen atoms. So let's see whether that's true. Let's see whether Y contains the same number of hydrogen atoms. Okay, so we have 12 hydrogen atoms here. We have 6 plus 1, so that's 6 here, and then 3 times 2 is another 6, so we have 12 oxygen atoms. So this is the answer. Very straightforward. These questions seem to be really easy. So I don't think MCQs are that hard for moles, but yeah, we'll try to do even other topics, maybe the ones that you find quite difficult. Okay, so we move on. Which relative molecular mass, MR, is not correct for the molecule given? Okay, let's do for each. Nitrogen is 14, plus hydrogen is 3 here, so it will be 17. So this is correct. Carbon dioxide 12 plus 32 because we do 16 times 2. So this will be 44. So even this is correct. Carbon is 12 plus 4, 16. This is correct. Oxygen is... Have I made a mistake here? I think I might have made a mistake here because I didn't use my... I did not use my... No, sorry. Everything's... Yeah, it's correct. And then... oh, it's O2. Okay, so O2 is not 16, it is 32 because it's diatomic. Okay, we move on to the next question. A compound with the formula XF2 has the relative formula mass of 78. What is element X? Okay, so we first find the formula of fluorine, the RAM of fluorine. So you go to your periodic table and fluorine, you look at the big number, which is 19. So 19 times 2 is what? 38. 19 times 2 is 38. Then we do 78 minus 38, which is 78 minus 38, which is 40. Then we go to the periodic table and see which one has 40, and you can see argon has the RAM of 40. So the answer, wait, sorry, have I, oh, wait a minute, I think I made a mistake. Wait a minute, let's see. Fluorine has 19, isn't it? So 78 minus 19 is 59. Or have I not made a mistake? I think that should be fine. Because fluorine has 19, so 19 times 2, unless I made a mistake there. So 19 times 2 is, yeah, it should be right actually. So 38, and then 78 minus 38 is 40, and argon has 40. Or is it calcium? Because both of them have 40. Right, both of them have a RAM of 40. Tricky question here, but you can see argon, right? Argon is it's group 8. Okay, it is group 8, hence why it cannot have a valency of 2. It should be calcium, because calcium has a valency of 2 and F has a valency of 1. So when they make the formula, it will become CaF2, and hence why this should be the answer, not argon. That was a close one, because argon has an RAM of 40. See, this is a small tricky question. They're very easy, but sometimes they can really trick you here. So argon has an RAM of 40, but because it is it does not have a valency of 2, that is wrong. Move on to the next question. Wow, this is quite simple. It says, what is the balanced chemical equation for the reaction of calcium and water? So you just see which one is balanced. So let's see, here we have 1 calcium, here we have 1 calcium, here we have 3 hydrogen, here we have 2. So this is wrong. Why is it not writing? So we have that wrong. We move on. Here we have 1 calcium, here we have 2 calcium, here is wrong. Here we have 1 calcium, here we have 1 calcium, here we have 4 hydrogen, here we have 4 hydrogen. We have 2 oxygen, we have 1 oxygen. This is wrong. 1 calcium, 1 calcium, 4 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen, 2 oxygen. D is the correct answer to this. Such an easy question. These questions are quite easy. I don't know if it's always this easy, but they're quite easy. Okay, but we'll see. Okay, the equation shows the reaction between magnesium and sulfuric acid. In this reaction, what is the mass of magnesium sulfate? Oh, okay, we have already done this question. The answer was, I believe, C. We've done this question, so we move on to the next question. So that was the first question. A compound has a formula CH3CO2H. How should the relative molecular mass MR of this compound be calculated? So we're looking at the MR for this compound to be calculated. So how can we calculate the RMM? So we just simply add everything up. So let's see. How many carbons do we have? We have 2 carbons. So that means 2 times 12, which is here. Then we do 4 times 1, which is here. And then we have 2 oxygen, which is here. So 17 is D. Wow, easy question. Very easy question. Okay, move on to the next question. I think this is a new question. Let's see. The equation for the reaction between magnesium and dilute sulfuric acid is shown. It gives us the MR of this. What is the mass when 12 grams? So this is a similar question. So 12 divided by 24 is half. So half moles of magnesium is used. Then half equals to 120 over X. It's the same question like the first one. The answer for this one should be C, because half times 120 is 60. Okay, so again, very easy question. Move on to number 19. Okay, number 19 says methane CH4 burns in air to form carbon dioxide and water. What type of reaction is this? This is whenever we have CO2 water, okay, burns in air, this is complete combustion. Okay, this is complete combustion. So let's see, what is the balanced equation for this reaction? So let's see. Here we have 1 carbon, here we have 1 carbon, here we have 4 hydrogen, here we have 4 hydrogen, here we have 2 oxygen, here we have 3 oxygen, so wrong. 2 carbons, 4 hydrogens, here we have 4 oxygen, here we have 2 oxygen, so this is wrong. Okay, here we have 2 carbons, so that's 1 carbon, that's correct. 4 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, that's wrong, so the answer should be D. But let's see. 1 carbon, 4 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen, 6 oxygen, so 4 oxygen. Okay, I think I made a mistake. So this is wrong. Let's try this one again. Maybe looked right. 1 carbon, 1 carbon, 4 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen, 4 oxygen. Oh, 4 oxygen, yeah, because 2 oxygen here and then 2 oxygen here. So answer is B. Again, simple question. The relative formula mass MR of copper to sulfate is this. How much mass of sulfur is present in 160 grams of copper to sulfate? So sulfur has a RAM of 32. So 32 is the how much sulfur is. Okay, so this is such an easy question. You just look at your periodic table and see how much mass is there in this. So very easy. What is the relative molecular mass of this? So hydrogen is 1, nitrogen is 14, oxygen is 16. So we multiply this by 3. Then we use our calculator. So 1 plus 1, 14 plus 15 times 3. The answer is 63. So 21 is D. Move on to the next question. It says the chemical compositions of two substances W and X are given. Which statements are correct? So it says W and X contain the same amount of oxygen. So let's see. We have 8 oxygen here. We have 8 oxygen here. Okay, so 22 seems to be correct. W contains 3 times as much silicon as X. Okay, so W has how much silicon does W have? 3 silicon here, and here we have 2. So this is wrong. X contains twice as much as aluminium as W. So X has how much aluminium? It has 0, while this one has 2. So this is correct because X does have twice as W. So the answer is 1 and 3. Move on to the next question. Hydrogen and chlorine react as shown. So we have 1 molecule of hydrogen, 1 molecule of chlorine. So H2Cl2 giving us HCl2. Very easy question. So we just look for something like this. Okay, remember 1 molecule of hydrogen. Hydrogen is always in diatomic. Okay, so we're looking for something like this, and I can see C is the answer. Move on to this question. For each atom of carbon present in a molecule, there is an equal number of atoms of oxygen, but twice as many atoms as hydrogen. Okay, let's read this again. It says for each atom of carbon present in a molecule, there is an equal number of atoms of oxygen. Okay, so we have equal number of carbons, but twice as many atoms as hydrogen. So if we have, you can see all of them have 2 carbon. So if we have 2 carbon, oxygen will be 2, but hydrogen will be double it. So we're looking for something like this. So here, this is wrong. Here, no, we need 4 hydrogen. Here, yeah, 4 hydrogen. So that's the answer. This is quite simple. We needed something more hard, right? maybe another video covering some hard stuff, okay? But if you have any doubts on particular MCQ questions, you can always send me a message or comment down below, and I'll try my best to help you out. Okay, we move on to the next question. It says, water is formed when 48 grams of oxygen is combined with 6 grams of hydrogen. So 48 grams, oops, why is it not drawing? 48 grams of oxygen combined with 6 grams of hydrogen. What is the mass of oxygen that combines with 2 grams? So if 48 grams combine with 6 grams of hydrogen, what's the mole ratio here? What's 48 divided by 6? 8. The ratio is 8:1. Okay, so if the ratio is 8:1 and hydrogen is 2 grams, this will be 16 grams, isn't it? So answer for number 25 is B. Okay. Move on to the next question. I think these are the last 2 questions, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, should be the last 2 questions. Let's do it. Nitrogen and hydrogen react together to form ammonia. Okay, we know this reaction. It comes quite a lot in paper 4. When completely converted, 7 tons of nitrogen give 8.5 tons of ammonia. So 7 tons give 8.5 tons of ammonia. How much nitrogen will be needed to produce 34 tons of ammonia? What's the ratio again here? 7, 8.5. Divide by 7, divide by 7. What is 8.5 divided by 7? 17 over 14. So 1 is to 17 over 14. So if we need, how much nitrogen will we need for 34 tons? We'll do 34 tons divided by 17 over 14. And it shall give us 28 tons. Okay? Because the mole ratio is 1 is to 17 to 14. So if we have 34, we just do 34 divided by 17 over 14 to give us 28 tons. So the answer for 26 is C. Last question, it says, which relative molecular mass MR is not correct of the molecule? Okay, another, didn't we do this question? The answer was D, right? So this is a repeated question, and we did this question. So we did 2 repeated questions, so we did in total of 25 questions. So hopefully guys that helped. These types of questions are not that hard, right? They are quite easy, but hopefully this guys helped you in your revision. And yeah, if you want me to do any other particular type of topic, do let me know down in the comment section. And all the best for your exams. And thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video.